Please remember to like, subscribe, and never forget to ring that bell.
Well then, how about that? No, it's playing Shifty. I was watching it on YouTube. It was playing Shifty. Can you hear me, Shifty?
Oh, hello.
Hello?
I don't know what was going on.
I'd say you're lagging severely because it was playing. I watched it on YouTube. It was playing. Sometimes it skips for you or something. If you get out of the dial-up page, it might help, right?
Well, no, I mean, it didn't play on the stream for me. I had it on pause on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. Okay.
Mute it though, because I can hear it. Almost like it's clear as day. Almost. So, what's going on, everybody? This is the Bad Batch Roundtable, where we talk about the Bad Batch Season 2. Today will be Episode 5. Entombed is the name of the episode, and we will give you our likes, dislikes, our overall thoughts, all of that good stuff. Well, we only got the three of us here right now. Anzo might be here. I don't know. He might not be. Anyways, but Danny will be, I think. And Austinator, did you happen to talk to Nindroid?
I will check in on him just to make sure.
Because I haven't heard from him recently, and I keep on putting it in the chat, so we'll see. Anyways, with that said, guys, we're going to go ahead. On your left, yes, on your left. What's going on, Tim? Good to see you in the chat. So let's go and have you guys introduce yourselves first. We'll start with you, Shifty. Tell everybody about yourself, please.
I'm Shifty. You can usually find me in the chat or on Twitter. I don't know if you really want to do that. That's might not be a good idea. But you can also find me, hopefully, this Sunday on the semifinals for Name That Tune. If everything, if the stars align and we can get everybody all available at once. Hosted by the man next to me, Mr. Chris Knight. It's been a long time in the making, and hopefully we can have a great end to the season.
I am hoping we can do that. It's one of those things. We'll find out. Who is still playing the stream?
It was me. It was me. I did it. I stopped it.
You can leave it. You can leave it. Just gotta mute it. Oh.
No, I got it. I got it under control. I got it.
I swear, I will slap you right here, right now.
Hey, at least I showed up.
All right. Yeah. All right. Next up is the Austinator. Austinator, tell everybody about yourself.
Hello. You guys could find me, everywhere on Sunday. Actually, you could have found me on Tim's channel where we talked about This episode of the Bad Batch, which, oh boy, then you can find me, well, on the Bad Batch Roundtable, usually on Sundays, or any other day of the week, depending on what happens. And you can find me also on my channel, where this week we're reviewing Teen Titans: The Judas Contract tomorrow, and we're also going to be reviewing Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay on Saturday. And you can find me on the Guy Scar, the Basco Scenarios channel for the Hangout, and just everywhere in between. So, Chris, thanks for having me on. This is, oh boy, I can't wait to talk about, well, this episode.
Oh no! Wow, it's amazing. Let's do this first, though. Did you guys see the DC lineup?
Oh boy, did I.
I heard about it.
What do you think? What's just your first impressions on that?
Well, for the first few I kind of like that James Gunn's doing it in chapters. Now, as far as what we've seen thus far, I mean, it looks alright, I guess. I mean, it's more the magical side. It's cool to see the Green Lanterns actually getting some attention to them. I like that we're getting like Booster Gold and Swamp Thing. Now, I'm still kind of confused on what's being retconned and what's not type of deal, because they're doing like a Waller show with like characters from Peacemaker, so I'm confused on what's actually staying and what isn't.
Peacemaker and all that was his thing.
Right.
He did the Suicide Squad, and that's what I told people. I said, if you do this, you have to reboot everything.
Exactly. So why? And apparently there are rumors they're going to keep Ezra as Flash too, which again I'm very confused on. So it's still very confusing. From what I've seen thus far, it is interesting, and bringing Damian Wayne in the live action with Batman is also intriguing. But again, it's still kind of too soon to tell. So I'm gonna wait until we see the first thing come out, and I'm also not really hot on the whole concept of having animation games and movies kind of connect with each other, because you should still have some separation, and having the same actors play the characters in both games, animation, and live action. I just think that's a little weird, and to me, I don't know if that's going to work. I mean, it's a good idea in concept, but I don't know if it's going to pay off well. But because it's still too soon, I mean, it might work, but I got to see a little bit more.
But
should be. Go ahead.
That's what we were kind of asking for years. Like, there should be more synergy between the shows and the movies. Like, all during the Arrowverse was like, why can't Green Arrow, team up with, the Justice League or whatnot? And, it's because they had separate departments. The movies and the TV departments weren't, cohesive. They didn't talk to each other. Of the stuff I heard today, I mean, I'm always open to more stuff with, Swamp Thing. I'm looking forward to Superman. I'm really interested in seeing who they cast. I really hope it's not Austin Butler, who I've heard some rumors about, and that's a definite no for me. But Brave and the Bold sounds really interesting. We're finally going to get the Bat family on screen, but I don't know how solid of an idea that is, because you're dropping a lot of characters on people all at once. I mean, there's going to be like 3 or 4 different versions of Robin right there, because I mean, you're going to have Nightwing, Damian Wayne. They'll probably have Tim Drake. That's a lot of characters. I mean, I would have moved into that a little bit slower, but whatever.
See, my biggest problem here is there's several things. One, with the Brave and the Bold thing, I don't think that's the Batman people want on film. Yes, I always have said that they need to have better synergy, or at least get the people who work in the animated side to come in and work with the movie people on how to make good movies. But the biggest things that question me is that they've thrown away several movies, or 2 movies right now, Batgirl and Supergirl, and basically 2 of these movies are going to incorporate that. So why did they throw away millions of dollars just to come back and try to redo it again?
Well, they said that Batgirl was unreleasable. It was awful, from what I'm hearing.
That's fine. I don't care. Then obviously nobody understands how to write the character.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I just see that there's no margin for error at all in this. None. Which to me means it's not going to work. But I don't know. I've said it earlier that I think that if they can't actually do the reboot correctly in Flash, they can't reset it in a way that people are happy with it. That's going to even make it harder to do. We'll see. I've always said it. I like DC better. I like Superman. I like Batman. I want it to succeed. This looks like, boy, how would I put it? This looks like a guy trying to avant-garde it, make it look a certain way instead of just painting the same thing but with different actors. And that really makes it harder to guarantee a win. And right now, DC needs a win. So, whatever. What's going on, Danny? Good to see you. Why don't you tell everybody about yourself, please?
I'm Danny, aka Comic Chat. You can find me usually on the first Monday of the month on Khaos Central, my show, The Khaos Conversation. Then the following Mondays on Chris's show and Anzo's show. On Wednesday nights, tomorrow night I'll be on Guys Guard Show to hang out. I may pop in on OOC based on what Anzo's going to be talking about. And on Sundays you can catch me on Rob Storm, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Storm's Live. And of course, whenever we do these Bad Batch Roundtables, I will be here.
All right, very good. So let's start off with our overall thoughts, and we'll start with you, Danny. Tell us what you thought of Episode 5, Entombed.
So steal Anzo's phrase, this was the biggest nothing burger I've seen all season. That's how I feel about it.
All right, Ostinator.
Oh, you want my general thoughts, huh? Well, let me tell you. This episode was exactly what Danny said. It was nothing. It was filler. It was everything wrong with this show encapsulated into one episode. This is by far the worst episode I've seen thus far. I'll get into more about why in a little bit, but damn, this episode was really bad.
I hate to say it, but I 1000% agree with Alternator.
The stars have aligned, ladies and gentlemen. They have aligned.
I don't know if that's true. We'll find out. Anyways. Shifty, what were your overall thoughts of this episode?
Another filler episode. It was super hollow. I didn't hate this as well. I haven't hated any of them. I think the racing episode was worse than this, but this is bottom of the barrel. I mean, compared to last season, this season has been pretty lackluster outside of the Crosshairs installment.
Okay. All right. My overall thoughts. Nothing burger, sure, I agree. It didn't serve a purpose per se, but I don't think that made it a bad episode. You want the episode to do something for the overall arcing story, and unless they somehow figure out a way to take a part of this and make it something that, builds to the overall story, okay, fine. But right now, that's not the case. So, yes, it is a nothing burger. It was a filler episode. I totally agree with you guys. But let's figure out what we liked about it first. I might be able to skip over Ostinator. I don't know. But Danny, go ahead. What did you like about this episode?
I like it was only like 21 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I can do this. The character that I did like, because I'm a big fan of Wanda Sykes, was annoying. So they kind of, I'm sure how they could do that because I'm really a big time Wanda Sykes fan. But well, it's hard to say what I liked about it. I guess the visuals was cool, but it's a whole lot more what I didn't like versus what I like. So I'll pass the mic.
Okay. All right. Austinator, what did you like about this episode?
I guess really one of the only real things I liked is I did kind of like the more video game-ness like of the episode. It had like that video game feeling where like they're going through traps and they're trying like there's like things in it that were interesting, like the puzzles that they had to solve. Especially the ones where they have to use the compass or whatever it's called, and it was at least intriguing. But once again, it made me feel like I would rather be doing something else than watch this episode and this show. I guess I like
this was. Go ahead.
And I guess I like the huge, like, massive droid monster thing. I guess visually, but I don't know.
Yeah, the most important piece of the puzzle, they lost it in one part of the thing. That didn't make no sense to me.
It didn't make sense to me either, Danny. Honestly, that's really all I got. There was nothing else that I liked.
So if it was like a level of, let's say, a Bad Batch game, and you were playing it, it would have been all right.
Yeah, I mean, if I was playing a game like that, I'd be like, oh yeah, this is all right. But then I watched the episode and I'm like, wow, this is nothing.
You probably would have wanted to kill Omega though.
Oh no, there's a lot of people I would have killed. Every member of the Bad Batch, Omega.
Something tells me that game wouldn't allow you to do it.
No, it probably wouldn't, but it might have let me kill the barrel droid. I don't know.
Ah, yes. All right, Shifty, what did you like about this episode?
I ate a really awesome grilled cheese sandwich while watching this episode. I like that. Great music. When Wanda Sykes' character talks about liberating the heart of the mountain, they played something really similar to the Ark theme from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I appreciate moments like that, which they've done before on Rebels in an episode that was in the spirit of Alien. Between that and some of the visuals, it gave the episode a nice sense of wonder. I also liked the multiple low-key references to the Goonies early on in the episode with the nods to that film's octopus fight and chunks of Michael Jackson's story during the treasure hunt setup. But as the episode went on, the nods to other properties became too frequent and too obvious.
Okay. That's what you liked about it?
Yes.
Okay.
Just wait till I get to the point.
Okay. I liked the visualization. I liked the journey. I liked the concept. Again, somehow wrap it into the overall arcing storyline. Because didn't they basically go just to shut her up and make it look like she's just somebody who makes up stories? Wasn't that kind of more the purpose that they were going for?
Pretty much.
I mean, it's like, yeah, tie it in. I don't care. There's not a lot you have to do to tie it in. Make the Empire go after. I mean, the Empire is basically the Nazi party, and the Nazis were known to go after occult items. So why couldn't you make them go after this? And they had to race to get it first. And then you had the problem with the droid monster, stuff like that. It's like little things like that can change the episode. And I don't know why we couldn't figure that out. Because Shifty's already pointed out something I'm going to point out here in a minute about this episode. But let's go to dislikes. Shifty, you can start.
Okay, this might take a bit. I got notes. Dropping nods to other things is cool in shows when done right. In the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show on Nickelodeon, which was fantastic and catered to both young and old, they'd often reference things we grew up with, like Star Trek or horror. like Christine or Nightmare on Elm Street, and take those nods and expand upon them to craft an entertaining story that fit organically into that world. They took every effort in making them feel special and not just lazy, nostalgia driven references amateurishly cobbled together to fill an episode quota, which was seemingly done with this episode of The Bad Batch. And which was amusing at first in this episode, but gradually added up into nothing more than a smorgasbord of lifted elements. Some pretty blatant, like the inside of the mountain resembling the shrines in Zelda Breath of the Wild, and the Strider robot they awaken along with the heart of the mountain being pulled straight from Horizon Zero Dawn blatantly. Nothing happened outside of establishing Wanda Sykes' character and coasting on nerdy pop culture references. It was a hollow episode, and this far into the season, it's becoming annoying. Also, either Sykes isn't a very good voice actress or her voice didn't suit the character. I just didn't care for it.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Austinator?
All right. Let me paint a picture for everybody. Now, I want to hear if you guys have heard this before. The Bad Batch are at Sid's place, and then they have to go on an adventure for something. And then they have to go on this treasure hunt, which then leads to them something bad happening. And then they end up coming out with nothing, making this episode feel even more pointless than it already is. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think we talked about this last week's episode, is that it's repetition. And this is already repetitive. We're 5 episodes in, and it feels like I'm watching the same episode for the most part. It's like Groundhog's Day at this point. Like
we're almost February, so.
Oh yeah, that's true. Maybe they're trying to tie that in with the Groundhog's Day show, like the Bad Batch. This episode did nothing for character development. I thought the huge monster droid thing, visually while cool, was kind of dumb. Because literally you take the piece out and then all of a sudden, this droid, magically starts going haywire. I don't know. I just feel like that's a little cliche and a little dumb. And then, not to mention, Wanda Sykes' character, I think her name is, Faye. There's a part in the episode that infuriates me to no end. Is, just to create drama, she has the little thing in her hands, and then all of a sudden she's just like, oh, no, I'm losing my grip on it. Oh, whoa. And then it, falls, and it keeps falling down. It's like, oh, my God. Stop dragging this episode. It starts to get to a point where I'm like, really? Why are you losing grip on this? This is ridiculous. And yeah, it just, again, this episode was nothing. It doesn't really add anything to the story. It was boring. And that's the problem too, is that at the end of the day, I really don't know what exactly the point of this episode was. And then they're going to, at the end, go for a chalice now. Dear God. Well, hopefully that's not the next episode, but if it is, there might be some words that I've got to have with whoever is making this show, because this is it's just so nothing. And I think this is my problem with the Bad Batch as a whole. It's just nothing. And I think, Shifty, you brought this up last week, or at least last week or 2 weeks ago, is that, at least the first season there was at least something going for it. It was at least trying to tell a story.
It had so many storylines last season.
It did. And then now this season, it's like we had 2 episodes of nothing, and then it's we get a little bit of story in the next episode, but then we get 2 more episodes that are nothing. So what's the payoff going to be here? And honestly, I really don't know. And at this point, is there even enough build-up or time left? I mean, we got 11 more episodes, but now they got a lot of ground to cover. So, yeah, that's really all I have. This episode is just frustrating.
Okay, very good. Danny, go ahead.
Well, to kind of piggyback off what Shifty said, I think Wanda Sykes is a good actress. I just think that her voice is more comedic style of a show versus Star Wars, supposed to be more on the serious side. Like I said, when I first heard that she was going to be a voice actor, I was excited because I'm a big Wanda Sykes fan. I think she's a very funny lady. But her character got really ignoring this episode. The leader of the Bad Batch, who I loved last season, they kind of like castrated him, man. He's just like whatever Omega says, he kind of caves into. And I'm like, okay. To me, he's
Doesn't
become
Go ahead. I was just going to say, doesn't it feel like, I mean, yes, I see where you're coming from. I wouldn't say that yet. It just seems like it's not so much castrated as much as just not focused on him at all as a leader. It's like every time they do something, he has no say in it. He just goes. Mm-hmm. And it's like he's getting very little screen time. Last time it was him, like every time that he needed to remind her, hey, patience, do this, follow my lead. He was trying to be a mentor. Now this time it's like, they don't even write him into these episodes. I mean, there's like, what, 2 lines he had in this whole freaking one?
He had more screen time than he had this season, I believe. But they're developing the other members of the Bad Batch and not him. And to me, he was my favorite one last season. Now, the one that I like the least, I'm kind of liking more. I kind of like in the smart ones. I can't think of his name now. Tech. But I don't know whether that's by design or whether I'm lack of screen time. I don't know. I think the giant electronic thing was something they stole off of. There was an episode of Justice League, and they had this big thing that was shoot like fire and all this kind of crazy stuff. And the only way they could do it was hit a spot on the back of the neck or something. And of course, Green Arrow was the only one that could make the shot. This reminded me of that episode, like this killer machine that came from space or somewhere. And it seemed like what Chris said earlier, that the Empire would have heard of this and try to get this and try to use it for themselves, because it was like this thing is almost like the thing off of Thor. You send it to the planet and it just destroys the planet and does a lot of work for you. That's something I think the Emperor would have known about or try to possess himself and control it himself. So that was a missed opportunity. Yeah, I really didn't like this. It didn't move the needle anywhere. It was the only character development that I saw was the one with Wanda Sykes' character. And who cares about her? We want to see more of the Bad Batch. So I really don't know where this is leading, unless they're going to tell us in. Did I understand you correct? Austin, you said it's 11 more episodes?
It's 12. It was 12.
It's 11. More. Yeah, we got 11 more episodes left.
So that's a lot of episodes. So maybe they'll pick it up. But right now, it is starting off really slow. So they need to pick up and have a direction to head to, because this episode, this is the 5th one, if I'm not mistaken. It is the worst. So, yeah, they got to do better. And for weeks now, I've been trying to defend it, but I can't defend this.
Okay, yeah, the whole referencing of Indiana Jones, that was blatant through and through. The heart of the mountain, whatever they call it, that was exactly the same scene, down to Omega doing the hands that Indy does. I mean, literally, it's like, and then, yeah, I heard a little bit of music that went that way. And okay, fine, that's fun and stuff. But you don't have to blatantly do it like that. And then, like you said, then at the end they said, well, there's a chalice. Okay, so what? We're saying now it's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusades next? It's like, it was all Indiana Jones references. And like I said, if you want to go Indiana Jones reference, take the storyline of the Empire, the Nazis, same generic idea, and use them in the same way that they did in Indy, but don't make it a blatant Indy ripoff. We might get that feeling, but if you made it a little less of that whole, Indiana Jones and the first Indiana Jones movie, if you'd taken a little less of that and not mentioned the chalice, it might have gotten played out well, that the reason why they had to go is because they think that at first it's to get money for whatever the heart of the mountain is, but perhaps they find out that, because the Empire is going after it, they need to get to it first because obviously the Empire has found it to be an important thing or something that they want, and they're still trying to fight the Empire. So there's ways they could have wrote it, and like Danny said, it was a missed opportunity. Somehow, some way, that's a missed opportunity because at least that builds the overarching story that they're still against the Empire. The Empire will want them dead when they find out they're alive. All of that stuff involved. And that's a complete miss. The biggest thing that you can do in throwaway episodes like this is at least still move a story forward. And they didn't even do that. It looked fun. It looked great. I enjoyed the idea behind it, but they just didn't execute anything. I agree with you guys, too, with Wanda Sykes. Her voice in this role did not come across very well. It came across more annoying. And I'm with you, Danny. I like Wanda Sykes. She's a great comedian. But, man, it's like that voice, the way she sounds with that character and the way that they were using her just did not work. And the beginning of the episode was really kind of wonky too. You know, her telling these stories, and again, like I said, they go basically just to shut her up because it's an adventure, yay, great. They go thinking they're going to make money, and then the one thing that they have to do is get it, and they don't get it, and then they have to put it back. It's like all that going on. It's like Oscillator said, when are you going to change what happens? I mean, right now, if they had done this episode and they got away with the Heart of the Mountain, let's say they did that, I think everybody here would be surprised because they're like the most inept group of special operative soldiers. This group was the one sent to handle missions that were more secretive, that were more covert than your standard clone. And now they're going on all these missions or these outings, and they can't even execute to save their freaking life. And so it's a total flip-flop of what you learn about this group of people. So yeah, it really is just weird. So,
Chris.
Yeah.
Dave already referenced Last Crusade in the second episode, so they can't really dip back into that well.
I'm just saying they already did it. The chalice that's a direct reference after everything they did. That's a direct reference to Indiana Jones again.
Also,
sorry.
No, you're good.
Also, look in the group chat. What I posted in there, I linked a Google search for Horizon Zero Dawn. Pull that up and look at that design because that's exactly what that robot was. The long neck from Horizon Zero Dawn. Also, the Heart of the Mountain that they kept on referencing, that was a callback to the 6th mission in that game, which was called the Womb of the Mountain. So they ripped off everything in this episode, from the Goonies to Indiana Jones to Horizon to Zelda, everything.
But yeah, I think that I don't know. They just needed to really do something in here. And again, here we are, 5 episodes in, and we have to figure out how they're going to move it forward. 2 of these, the last 2 episodes have really done very little to help the overall story. And I don't know. All right. Let's go to final thoughts and grades. Since Danny's on his phone, we'll go down to Austin. We'll start with you. Final thoughts, grades, and predictions if you want.
Well, my final grade is going to reflect on what I've been saying over the last couple of episodes. Is if the next filler episode and the filler episodes after this are getting Fs, yeah, this one's an emphatic F.
Okay.
This episode did nothing for the story. It was pointless. There really wasn't much to it. It's a very frustrating episode, and it's a frustrating show because the story is there right in front of you, but they have yet to even really delve into it. And because the first season set up, okay, they're trying to phase out the clones, and they're going to bring in stormtroopers, and with the Camino being destroyed, you would think in season 2 that they'd continue to really phase out clone troopers, but we're not even getting that. So it's almost like I don't know what the point is to this show, especially when we already know what's going to happen in the long term. So as far as predictions go, I really don't have any predictions because I don't even know what we're getting next episode. Next episode could be another filler episode for all we know. So if for this show's sake, I hope it's not, because I would at least like a little bit of story to be told. But I really hope this is not going to be something where by the 10th episode they're like, oh crap, we got to have a story. I really hope that's not the case. But yeah, this episode's an F. This F for frustrating.
Okay, very good. We have a poll up, guys. You guys can vote on your grade. Somebody's already voted A or A minus, which really surprises me. Shitty.
This is kind of tough because, I mean, I didn't hate it, but I think it's one of the worst episodes of the show so far. Like I said, I didn't like the racing episode. I liked this more than that one, but I would have to give it a C, but even lower if you just take it in regards to where we're at in the season, because nothing has happened hardly, and it's like Austin Air said, it's super frustrating. Like if this season, if we get towards the end of the season and ultimately we find out it was all for nothing more than setting up some little crossover event in The Mandalorian, which is supposed to happen, that's going to be super disappointing. It's something else needs to happen.
Crossover event with a cartoon and live action.
Well, no, something involving the cloning and Mount Tardis or something is supposed to cross over into the opening episodes of this season of The Mandalorian. So it's supposed to be sort of like, how they had Grogu reveal he had healing powers, and in the same week, Rise of Skywalker dropped and Rey had healing powers, or something like that. That's from what I heard. So if the whole season adds up to something that's the only thing we're getting this season, it's just a waste. I mean, they could do much more. I mean, last season alone proves they can weave in and out multiple storylines, and this season they haven't done anything.
Well, by this point in last season, I think we were still saying the same things. I think we were doing a lot of stuff too.
We were getting used to the characters and stuff, so that made up for it. And plus, you had that great two-parter where Omega got kidnapped by Fennec Shan, and it had Blue Dude in it. I think he was in it. What's his face? So they had stuff going on, even if the story hadn't really got there. You had good episodes.
Yeah.
And plus, they were piggybacking off the chip conspiracy and the Order 66 stuff. So, had a lot going on.
Yeah, but the thing is okay, that's true. But what I'm saying is that there's still time to give us the overarching thing and build to it. But
there's time, but they're wasting it.
Oh, yeah, they are. Danny, final thoughts, grades, predictions, anything like that?
I give this a D+. I have hope that it's going to get better after Austin said 11 more episodes. So I thought it was more like 6 or 7 total. But with 11 more episodes, they can cover a lot of ground in that. Because let's see, 20 minutes. So 2 episodes is 40 minutes basically. So we get about 2 hours and a half more that they can do. So yeah. I got hope that it'll get better. But they gotta hurry it up. One, maybe 2 more full episodes, and that's it. We gotta put it in high gear.
I don't disagree with that at all. All right. Anything else?
No, I don't know what to predict on this, bro. I have no idea what it could be leading to. I don't know. I'm just gonna sit back and try to enjoy the ride, but it's getting hard.
All right. I'll give it a C-. I liked a lot of the stuff in it. It just didn't do anything for anything. And then, like you said, like Shifty said, just the whole. Well, I think Austinator and Shifty, what they said, felt like a video game. It was kind of cool. There was that almost like Tomb Raider mixed with Indiana Jones, mixed with like Uncharted or any one of a number of games. Just felt kind of like that. And while fun, it didn't do anything for anything in this whole series. So that's really difficult. No predictions. Man, I don't know. You know, next week if we get another Crosshair episode and it's good, then you got to figure out a way to get Crosshair back involved in the Bad Batch stuff. Whether or not he comes back to him or not, you got to start involving him in these episodes so we get a mixture of all of it. You know, that's how you got to do it. I mean, and we know Star Wars has done it before. The Battle of Endor is primarily two separate stories being told at the same time. So again, we know this is possible. We know they can do it. And maybe not current people in charge, but we know it's been done before with Star Wars. We know that they could do it. Just getting it done. That's the biggest problem. And with that said, I think we're done. And, yeah, so everybody give one more explanation of what you do on your channel and everything before we go. We'll start down there with Austinator.
Yeah, you guys can find me, well, on this recent Sunday, you could have found me on Tim's channel where we talked about this episode of the Bad Batch. You can also find me on Sundays for the Bad Batch Roundtable or whenever it happens. Tonight, you can actually find me on Anime Talk, where actually we talk about Chainsaw Man. And this week on my channel, we're reviewing Teen Titans: The Judas Contract and Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay. So go check those out. And I'm on the Hangout on the Basco Scenarios channel, so go check that out as well. And yeah, that does it for me. Chris, thanks for having me on.
Not a problem. Always enjoy having you here, even when you tear apart the show.
Yeah, he got some suspect stuff. Last night he was on your show doing Justice League Dark, and they didn't like it. I'm like, what in the world?
Hey,
what?
I was one of the only ones that actually liked it. To be fair, so.
Right.
But yeah, I agree, Danny. It was very sus.
Right. Shifty.
Who cares about me? What y'all need to do, everybody that's listening to this, y'all need to go over to Hanstar's channel, subscribe, check out all the great stuff he's got on there, including this past season of Name That Tune, because it all leads to hopefully this Sunday, the semifinals, where you can see me lose spectacularly this Sunday at 10 o'clock or earlier, probably, depending on what we get that scheduled for. Hosted by Mr. Chris Knight and Deej Odyssey. It should be super fun, so check it out.
What's that female that always be on there?
Which one?
Mora and Piper.
Not
Piper.
The other one.
Mora.
That always wins.
Moira?
Yeah.
No, not Mora.
Moira actually didn't win until...
Not Mora.
I don't know. There wasn't
Yeah,
any...
it is.
There's only two women on this
Maybe
year.
not this season, but last year.
And Stacey.
She wins it all the time.
Well, Mary, back when Mary would come on, Mary Mayhem.
I don't think it was
Mandy
her.
used to be on. Mandy.
Well, Mandy didn't win that often.
Yeah. The times I was on there, times the song, blah, 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 like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, she hasn't been on for a long time, so yeah, no.
She got a real country twang, like from Georgia or somewhere like that.
Yeah, that's her. That's
like
Mandy.
what?
Yeah.
A couple times I played, man, she was smoking everybody.
Well, she had her moments.
We need to get you on next season.
Mm-mm.
No.
All I'm gonna do is a hip hop or rap edition, because R&B, because I know nothing about country, I know nothing about that hard rock, I know nothing about all that kind of stuff that y'all be playing. So I'm not even going on there and embarrass myself. No, thank you.
I should do a full on hip hop rap version with you, Hanzo. I don't know who else I'd bring up there.
Now I'm ready to defend my crown on the what you call it. I'm waiting for that.
The Rumble. I know. I got to get that all wrapped. I got to get that all together, and I'm working on that.
What's the guy from overseas? We heard from when we did the chase.
Shadow.
I ain't heard from him in a while, man.
I messaged him a while back. He was
the chase was fun, but boy, that thing it had your brain smoking. Oh my God. It had your brain smoking, but it was fun.
Yeah. All right, Danny, tell everybody about yourself.
I am Danny, aka Comic Chat. You can find me first Monday of each month, second Monday and third Monday on Khaos Central with our shows. Mine's Khaos Conversation, Anzo's Khaos List, Chris is the Rule of Three. I think we come up with some Rule of Three things that happened. I think 4 or 5 probably came true. I'm still in the lead. That's a good thing. You can also find me Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Storms Live, Robert Storm, Anzo, Adam, and myself. And tomorrow night, I should be on the Hangout if I don't have to work with Guy Scar and Alcinator, G Major, several other people. And good time, man. We're doing this in honor of JJ. It's hard to watch, but I'm going to stick in there for my man. But this last episode, it cannot repeat itself, because this was the biggest nothing burger of the season.
Okay. Very good. And let's see here. Me, Real Review 3000 is the channel. You can find me there. Of course, like should be said, we do Hanstar's Name That Tune over on Hanstar's channel. Sometimes we do Jackbox Games over there or on my channel. And then, of course, here, the 3 shows that Danny mentioned, plus some other stuff like these roundtables. And that is that. Let's go really quick over the 3 questions I put in there. What did you think of episode 5 Entombed? 35% said it was okay. 35% said how many episodes are left? And 29% said they liked it. Nobody said they hated it, though.
Who said they like it? What's the percentage?
They liked it, 29.
Damn.
The first one was okay. It was okay. It was 35. So, the next one. Did this episode feel like a ripoff of Indiana Jones films? Yes, 42%. Kind of, 35, and 21% said no. So
I must have toned out. I didn't get any of that what y'all talk about. Now I see what y'all the comparisons. But doing the actual show, I was like, I wasn't even my brain wasn't operating on that wavelength.
When she turns it to lift it, she waits, puts her hands around. The next scene you see is them go to Omega, and Omega does this, and that's exactly what Indy does. I mean, literally, it's like it was like, wow, let's just.
Did she get a thing and replace with something else like he did?
No, that did not happen. So there was a little difference there, but it was just the whole scene thing.
Yeah.
You know, what is your rating of this episode of the Bad Batch? C minus, C plus got 53%, B minus, B or B plus got 23, F, D minus, D or D plus got 15, and A or A minus got 7%. Interesting. Anyways, with that said, guys, thank you everybody who was here today. Appreciate it. Anybody who watches after the fact, if you have anything you'd like to say, put it in the comments below. We'll try to answer it on the next week's episode. But until then, guys, thank you so very much. Everybody say goodbye.
Peace. Later.